Hi, so this is a video on why the changes that you desire to make are not happening, or why the changes that you're seeking are just not sticking. So this happens in situations where you have a goal in mind, what you want is very clear to you, but there's just something stopping it from being the full potential that you want it to be. So let me explain. I've seen this both in myself and in other people. The first reason that this might happen is because you are strong-holding your goal. So you're trying to control every aspect of it. You have a very clear vision of what you want it to be, and that's okay. That's understandable that you care a lot about this thing. This can be a tangible item that you are trying to create, or it can be more of an intangible thing that you are stirring up in your mind and trying to produce for others. Maybe it's even a routine that you're trying to implement. So imagine that your idea, this goal, is a baby bird. You need to give this baby bird a chance to grow and get out of the nest on its own. If you were strong holding it, if you were, wrapping your hands around its neck and choking it so that it can't breathe, it can't fly, where's the flow coming from? There's no room for flow. There's no room for the bird to grow. If the bird is your idea, there's no room for it to develop into the full potential that it can be. And the only way, obviously, to allow that is to release your grip and let the idea blossom. And that's a little bit scary to think about, because if you care about this thing, then you want it to be perfect. But that might mean passing off the idea to someone else. Maybe you've reached a point where this idea is just not working for you anymore and you need to give it to someone else who can better nurture it. Maybe it's a project of yours that you can just, hand off and say, I think you are going to be a better suit for this. Or it might be something that you are just pining over in your head, wondering if it's perfect yet, are people going to like it, all this stuff. And the truth is, you just need to put it out into the world. Maybe it's a song you've written. Put it out and see what people think. Or don't. Decide. Make a decision. Do you want to keep holding on to this thing and wondering? Or do you want to just let it go through its cycle? Put it out there. See what happens. If the results are good or satisfying for you, then I think that's a good indication that you've done your job, you've done your part there. So the second thing that I see coming up is you haven't established your trust muscle. And this is such a fun topic for me to talk about, because the trust muscle is what I consider to be the inner knowing, the person inside of you, the whispers, the intuition, all that good stuff. And it's not established overnight, but it is established by continuous and consistent dedication to what you want. And that might sound like a bigger feat than it really is, so let me explain. These efforts don't need to be huge, but they do need to be consistent. I think that's really important, because consistency is what is showing yourself. The actions that you take are showing yourself what you're capable of. So if you want to start a meditation practice and you're just thinking about it like, oh, maybe I want to do this, but I don't know if I have the time for it. Or maybe I want to do this, but what if it doesn't make me feel good? Or all these ideas you have, right? But if you're not actually doing the thing, then how can you say that? So start by creating a consistent routine. Start by setting aside 10 minutes maybe to sit down for a meditation practice, if that's what you want to do, of course. And then you can start to trust yourself, like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm setting aside the time to meditate, and if you like your results, then that's great. And you believe, hey, maybe I can extend this to 15 minutes, maybe I can do 30 minutes. Hey, maybe I want to try some other sort of self-care activity because I already have this routine in place. You begin to trust yourself because you already have these routines in place. And another way you can, without setting aside a routine, another way that you can do this to build your trust muscle is by speaking truthfully. So when someone asks you, how are you feeling? Instead of saying, I'm fine, or, I'm doing I'm doing good, whatever. All is the same. Instead of downplaying how you're feeling, actually being clear and saying, hey, I'm not doing so well, or, it's been kind of a hard week. I haven't, I've been sleeping well. I don't know, whatever is going on. Being truthful and talking about what's on your mind, that is also an action. That's showing yourself, I am worthy of, being heard. I'm worthy of being seen. I'm worthy of taking up space and being acknowledged, and my voice is just as important as someone else's. So being unafraid to say that, to be truthful, to be transparent, to be, because you know what's going on in your mind, you know what's in your head, but if you aren't conveying that to other people, if you're not conveying that to those around you, then it's like there is this identity mismatch, right? Because you want to be seen, you want to be heard the way you feel, the way you see yourself, and the only person who can create that alignment is you. Okay, so these little things might not sound very important. They might not sound like a big deal, but it's, again, through the consistent implementation of routines or behaviors that are truthful to you and in line with the kind of person you want to be. These are the things that help build that trust muscle and help you realize, hey, I'm here for me. I'm going to show up for me. And also, like, I'm worth it. Whatever it is I want to do, if I'm trying to go after this goal of mine, then it's hard to believe that it's going to happen if I'm not even setting aside this time for myself, if I'm not even giving myself a chance to, try it, if I'm not free to talk about this goal that I have in my mind because I'm scared of what others are going to think. No. Stand up for yourself, show up for yourself, be that advocate for yourself. And I think that's going to be a game changer. Respect yourself enough to follow through.